Okay. I think you can start speaking.
Okay. Well, I'm great. Hi, everybody. We're going to wait a couple of minutes for people to get here before we really dive in, but thank you for joining us today on our very first Stitching Live with Lizzie and Sean. He's here too.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we're just going to, whoopsies. I should probably turn that on Do Not Disturb while we're doing this. There we go. We are going to do this video series just sort of so people who have bought our dies or are interested in our dies can see how they come together. But that's the whole of the plan at this point. And today we're going to kick it off with the Fresh Flowers die. I put a poll up on my Instagram, and that's the one that people asked for first of the options that I gave. So we're going to, here's the one that I made for the I don't know which camera we're on right now.
You're on the main camera right now.
Okay.
You just stick to it.
Yes, this is the sample that I made for the release. And so we're going to make another one today. I'm going to use the Vintage Charm Color Story. So a color story is thread and felt and beads and sequins that all coordinate. So you take that, thank you. And that's the color story I'm working with today. It's Vintage Charm, just to make things easy for everybody to remember. And I've already done the back here. So when you do the back of something, you literally just mirror everything. It's just the mirrored version of everything. So you're technically stitching on the wrong side out, but because it's felt, it's really forgiving, and it doesn't show like scars and marring from your plates or anything. So
we can now see your workstation in the picture-in-picture. I sorted that out so far.
Woo.
Shari told me to show my face. I explained to Shari that I don't know how yet. Hello from Slovakia.
Wow.
We'd love to have you here.
So we're working through some of these things. We don't really know what we're doing yet. We're sort of winging it a little, but you know, good times. So this is 3364. It is one of the colors in Vintage Charm. I'm going to use 3364 and another color just so I have some contrast between the two different stems. Sorry, I'm getting myself all together here. I should also, this is the die we're using. I think I'm missing one of the little flower dies.
Let me swap. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's happening everywhere. Let me swap this really quickly.
What's happening what?
Oh, you're doing great. I'm just trying to swap the camera while I'm using this really quickly. How do I keep talking? You go ahead and go back to talking.
Okay. So this is the die. There's a base that has all the stems and all the stitching for the flowers and leaves. The large posy in the center has 3 layers, or you could do 2 layers if you preferred. The daisy has 2 layers. This little tulip guy has 2 layers, and then there's the leaves and the centers for all the flowers. So this is what the die looks like. And to do your flower, you're going to need the base, the 3 different posy pieces, the 2 different tulip pieces, the daisy pieces, and their coordinating centers, and some leaves. And Now we'll go back to the stitching. I'm going to start with the stems, and I will start with one of the basic stems, like just the straight stems. That way, if anybody pops in later, they'll get to see stems and the more complicated bits. I take 3 strands of the embroidery floss. When I stitch, I only use 3 strands for most things. And so I'm just going to thread my needle here in a moment.
In the world of the most basic functionality of this, I've got myself in the upper corner. Hi, everybody. It's me, Sean. Now I'm floating over Liz's shoulder. I don't yet understand how to swap and make the tabletop that you're stitching on the main camera view yet. That's what I'm doing furiously behind the scenes. I've got the little picture-in-picture up so they can see what your hands are doing. No fair peeking. They can see what your hands are doing right now.
Okay. They just can't see it big.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that yet. Don't worry, everybody. It seems...
Excuse me.
Seems really basic, but that's what I'm working on furiously with all my thumb tapping here.
Okay. Well, then, it's a good thing that we've got so many stems to work on because we're going to need to do them a few times. So by the time you figure it out...
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look, you got it.
Oh, look, everybody. Wow.
Right, you got it. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it sort of. Great. Don't worry. Let's turn that off.
So I'm coming in from the back.
Oh, wonderful.
And to start off with, we're just going to do a running stitch. On these stems, I did a running stitch and then I went back and did a whip stitch around the running stitch to just give it a little bit of extra texture. So that's what we're going to show you today. You could just do the running stitch and that would be absolutely fine. But
your hands are off camera right now.
They are?
Yeah, a little bit off camera.
Sorry.
There you go. Oh, look, there they are.
Sorry, we had a last minute realization that my hands were upside down, and so we've had to kind of come up with a new camera angle that requires my a stool and my water sitting on the boom. So hopefully that's not gonna fall over on us anytime soon here. But
now we're both in little circles on the left-hand side, everyone, which is great. It has sort of a Brady Bunch feel. Want to make sure that I keep my references nice and dated for everyone.
Okay, so to do the stems, you just start with a basic running stitch. And this is real-time stitching, folks, so it's not particularly quick. We have to do this while Tilly's at school, otherwise chaos.
Total chaos. Tilly was here yesterday helping us get the setup going.
She was like...
Woo! She was sitting on my lap where I'm sitting right now, looking directly into this red light bulb, and she was describing everything that
was happening.
Parents were doing.
You've never seen a child who wanted to vlog more in her life.
Mm-hmm. And while that was happening, you know, the iPad was running out of battery. I can't even remember what we were trying to sort out.
There's like, there were like 6 different things happening at once. And we're trying to talk to each other and she's talking over us. Mm-hmm. So that was great.
And then she got some of her stuffies and she tucked them into my body. And then she got a blanket and tucked them over the top.
They were talking to the camera as well.
All 3 of them were talking to the camera at the same time. And we were literally just trying to figure out how to get the cameras mounted and how to get the stream connected to our YouTube stream.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. Was that there was like... We hadn't updated something on one of the many iPads or something that's running things right now, and it was like not recognizing.
Yeah.
It was the cameras and it's a whole thing. So anyway, we got that worked out, but that is why we are doing this at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because Tilly's at school. So, you know, you got to work when you can.
So
all right.
This is a running stitch?
This is a running stitch. I doubled back at the end and I'm just going back and filling in all of my open stitches.
So you're stitching every other hole when you do a running stitch?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. And the goal on the way back is just to fill everything in. Now, you'll notice when you're stitching these that things get a little ripply here in the stem area because there's just so many different things pulling on that amount of felt. Like there's just so much you can do. But once you sew the outer edge together and get everything stuffed, it evens out. And it's hard to tell here because I've got bows on it, but that's another, it'll hide any major sins. Okay, so that is our basic running stitch. You could stop here, but I'm not going to do that.
You could stop there. You could just leave the stitch there alone the way that you have it.
Yeah, you could just tie it off here and be done. And that would be fine. I mean, it would look fine. It would look great. But instead, we're going to whip stitch. So I'm going to go back in through this top hole here, and I'm going to choose which side I want to stitch from. I'm going to come in here through the left, and you're going to just tuck under each stitch, and you're going to do that from the same side all the way down.
I'm going to see if I can zoom this a little bit.
All right.
Nope. I can get a little refrigerator. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Wow, look at those hands. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
These are not manicured hands.
Wait, explain what you're doing again, because I just blew it up so people can really, I mean, it's front and center now. It's looking great.
So you're going to choose a side, this side or this side, and you're just going to bring your needle underneath each stitch.
Underneath each stitch, okay.
And pull it through.
And pull it through. And why are you doing that?
It, as you can kind of see, it makes the stem really pop. It just gives it a lot of texture. It makes it feel a little more rounded. And it can also even out the look of the individual stitches. So it doesn't look like a bunch of individual stitches. It just looks like a line.
Now, do you come up, Kevin wants to know, or someone at least whose username is Kevin Radford wants to know, do you come up through the floss strands? Or no, you're just coming up underneath the floss strands?
Yeah, I'm just tucking my needle underneath the entire stitch.
Underneath the entire stitch. So you're not separating the individual strands of floss when you do that?
No, I'm just going underneath the whole stitch. Usually when I'm stitching a lot closer to my face than I am right now, so I'm trying to make sure it looks nice.
Suck it up.
I know.
Suck it up. There are a lot of people in the chat saying this is helpful. Nikki Chloe is here. Okay. Hi, Nikki. It's good to see you in the chat.
So yes, I will do this all the way down.
And what would you, so this is no longer, now clearly this is no longer a running stitch. This is how you can tell your friends how elevated your stitching is. Right. Get it elevated. More like speed bumped. This is how speed
it's
bump.
sort of a speed bump stitch.
What do you call this stitch?
I believe it is called a whip stitch.
Whip?
But I could be making that up. I'm pretty sure it's called a whip stitch.
We think it's called a whip stitch, but please don't quote us.
Honestly, a lot of my experience is winging it, and then I'll find out later that something has a real name, and I'm like, oh, I've been doing that for a while, and I didn't know that was a real thing. So yes, I believe this is a whip stitch.
Okay, so you've been whipping it.
Yes.
All the way down and when you're done,
each one, yes.
When you're done doing this whip stitch, is there another thing that you're going to do to make the stem pop, or this is where this particular stem is going to be done after this moment? This particular
stem will be done after this moment.
Okay, so we've gone every other hole to the top, every other hole to the bottom, and now we're going underneath each stitch.
Yes.
From top to bottom.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, we did start at the top and go bottom and then top and then whip, but yes.
That's irrelevant. You can start on whichever side of the stem that you'd like to.
The direction is irrelevant.
Keeping in mind, of course, that your plants in real life are going to grow from bottom to the top.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what just happened? Did you just pull the needle out?
I just pulled the needle out of my
Ooh,
I
boy.
know.
Oh,
Rookie.
boy.
Rookie mistake.
Okay, we're going to get that. We're going to get that worked out here, okay?
Love that play-by-play.
Joanne Williams says for sure that this is the whip stitch.
Okay.
That's great, Joanne. We'll just ask for your credentials off the air. That's good to know. Oh, you threaded that thing again so fast?
Yeah, I did.
What happened there? Did anybody else see that?
No, they didn't, because I did it off the camera, Jones.
If there was instant replay on this, I would pop up over here in this corner. I would pop like another
I just
little...
stabbed myself.
Oh, now you're getting cocky. Now you're stabbing yourself.
All right, so then you take your needle back to the back, and I just do like a double knot and then snip it off.
No, people really want to know about the knots, so you're going to have to explain the double knot a little better.
I just slide it under the first stitch there, bring my needle through the loop, and sometimes I double it, sometimes I just do a single knot, and then I tuck my end underneath a couple of the stitches to just sort of secure the end a little bit.
I don't think I can zoom it any tighter than it's zoomed right now, because I really wanted to just...
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I wanted to get under a microscope here.
All right, so like I said, it gets a little ripply there, but that's okay. So that's our first stem. And because I said I'm doing all the things on camera, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do the same basic idea here on this next one.
How many stems are on the flower?
5.
There are 5 stems on the flower.
However, 2 of them have like a little extra something going on. So there will be more interest here. In honesty, most of this die is stems. Like most of the stitching is the stems.
You're saying it's very stemmy.
It's very stemmy.
It's very stemmy. Okay, so it's like kale the 3rd time it's been harvested.
Correct.
Okay, it's like parsley at the end of the season.
Indeed.
It's like your basil patch when it's October.
Yes.
In Zone 5. I'm sure we definitely have some people in the chat from Florida. They're probably eating basil this afternoon from their garden if they wanted to, yeah.
Now this is
Are you going to whip this one too?
I am.
Okay.
I whipped all of them. I suppose I could not. However, I want to actually keep this on the tree when we have a Valentine's Day tree.
You're saying if you did not whip stitch this, it would not be tree appropriate any longer. That's what you're trying to tell.
The consistency would not be there, and it would drive me nuts every time I looked at it.
I wonder how I have to move this tripod to get... No, you keep doing what you're doing. I'm trying to get your face. At the expense of the glare on my head, I'm getting your face into the center. There we go. Look at that. This is great.
Fantastic.
Uh-huh. And we're running from the top to the bottom of there. That's excellent.
Yes, I do. I usually run from the top to the bottom because I don't want like a whole bunch of long ends there at the bottom.
I'll never forget when I learned about backstitching when I was a child in 6th grade art class, how simple it was and insane that if you didn't do the backstitch, you would just go through the hole twice and whoop, your stitch would go away. You
most certainly could also backstitch these stems, or you could chain stitch these stems, or you could do whatever you want. Whatever kind of fancy stitch you want to do with these stems. I just find the running stitch to be the easiest, most accessible thing. And so that's what I usually use. So
for your straight line stitchers that are out there.
For the straight line stitching.
In the YouTube land.
That's right.
On this floss tube. Are we calling this a floss tube?
I don't know.
This isn't that.
No, this is a live stitch.
I'm going to be in a separate window on the laptop here on my lap building a glossary. So we have running stitch, whip stitch, chain stitch, back stitch, outhouse, henhouse, doghouse, farmhouse, birdhouse.
Yes, there are a lot of terms, I guess, but that's why I usually just stick to the running stitch because it's easy to do and it's easy to remember. But these stems just did sort of seem like it would be nice to do them in a little bit more of a decorative stitch. So, so that's what we're doing today.
And then we're getting into some flowers after that. I can see the flowers are right there. You made the flowers super tempting there on the... if you're just joining us, hi everybody, this is Sean and Lizzie from Poshta Design, and I've been sitting in this chair now for 20 minutes, and I've been looking exclusively at the screen in front of me, and I just noticed that the little flowers that we're going to be stitching are sitting right there adjacent to the project that we're stitching. That's me. That's my level of attention.
Yes, I did cut
to my own content.
I did cut all of my bits and pieces.
That's great.
To have it easy to
Wait a minute. Shari's in the chat saying, I have a book. Do I need to send it to you, Sean? That's outrageous. What kind of book are we talking about?
A book of stitching terms, I believe.
I'm sorry, a book of, what is that?
So you don't need to build your own glossary.
You're saying it's a stittionary.
Oh boy.
Or it's a stitchacy? It can't be called a stitchacy.
No, it cannot.
A stitchery. No, a stitchery is a place. Okay, so Shari is advanced enough that she has a stittionary. Nikki, you will definitely be able to rewatch this later. Yes. Yes, you could watch this. You could put it on as white noise tonight.
Sorry, I'm going to cut these ends just because they're going to distract me personally, but you could leave them if you really wanted to.
A book of stitches sounds like something that you bought in a tourist destination, maybe after seeing like a museum of embroidery, like a little gift shop. It's probably not hardbound. It's probably softbound. And it's probably been out of print since the mid-2000s. That's my guess.
So much ire from this one.
This is not ire. Oh, you're welcome, Nikki. No, this isn't ire. This is what people have come to see the live for. What color is the malted layered flower? Actually, what are the felt colors throughout? That's a great question. I can help with that, maybe. Hang on. I mean, go ahead and talk about it with your flowers for a second. I'm just, you know me, I like to make noise with plastic bags.
Yeah.
I like to make noises with
plastic bags. The large flower is Rendezvous.
The large flower is Rendezvous, which is the darkest purple that I'm now covering
That's pink. That's a pink color,
Wait,
sir.
What color are you talking about? Rendezvous, what did I say it was?
You said it was purple. It's pink.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, pink is Rendezvous here at the top. This is Rendezvous.
Satin Slipper is the next pink.
This one right here. This is Satin Slipper, and that's what is going to be the little heart shape.
The little tulipy looking flower.
The little tulip flower. Not tulipy looking. It's a tulip.
Okay, it's a tulip. I did say tulip on the...
Yeah, you drew it. You have to own it now. And then what is the green color in the middle?
Is pea pod.
Oh yeah, this is pea pod.
And then we have Glacier and Chantilly.
Glacier and then Chantilly. Let me flip it upside down and Chantilly will now be at the top. Look at that. I was packing an order the other day with Chantilly in it, and then there's our 4.5-year-old like, wait a minute. What do you mean my name's in that color? It was like I spelled it for her, and she's like, hey, that's Tilly. And I was like, you're not just whistling Dixie.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, she got it. So that's the color. The color for the multi-layered flower is Rendezvous.
Yes.
Right here.
Big flower in the middle.
I'm just going to go ahead and touch it to the camera. Just, yeah, just like that. That was like docking at the International Space Station, but instead it was with felt.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm, just like that. Okay, which stem are we on now? Are we on stem number 3?
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Dude.
Don't dude me. I couldn't tell which stem you're on.
Don't rush me, bro. This is real time.
Okay, don't tase me, bro. I go to school here.
Part of why I dislike editing video so much is because I have to sit there and watch myself painstakingly stitch things, and sometimes that's hard to deal with.
This isn't painstaking at all because you've only poked yourself once.
As far as you know.
I would think painstaking would be many more pokes than that.
You've only heard me say ow once.
Oh, well, everybody knows that your pain tolerance is higher than mine.
Indeed,
so we don't,
it is.
or I say everybody knows that. Actually, let me take that back. Nobody knows that.
People should know that.
Nobody knows that her pain tolerance is larger than mine. So that's great. I'm glad to get that out of the way.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tuck in that end then.
We're tucking that end in and we're about to tie that off.
I did tie that off. All right. So that's the second stem.
Second stem.
Now let's do one of the other stems to make things a little more interesting.
Oh, this is one of the fancy stems, you mean?
One of the fancy stems.
Okay, so you've grabbed your needle book.
I have. I'm going to grab out a needle.
Okay.
So I can get through all the...
Wait, why are we grabbing a different needle?
Because I want to keep that one threaded.
Okay, so the other needle has just been set down so we don't have to rethread it later. It's not that this isn't like you needed a different needle for a different approach.
You don't have to have another needle. I just don't want to have to undo.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just trying to understand if the different needles are like a pitching wedge versus a driver versus a 5-iron. I don't play golf, but I know they have different clubs, and they use the different clubs for different things.
Let's do the Lazy Daisies next. I'm going to make a mess of this thread.
That's okay. And when you do how many strands are you using of floss?
I'm going to use 6 for the Lazy Daisies.
Whoa!
Oh no, wait. The Lazy Daisies are in white. Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
Let me go get the white.
Oh my gosh.
My apologies.
We're pausing, everybody.
We're not pausing. We're just grabbing a different thread.
Well, you might not be pausing, but I'm pausing. Okay, so you're gonna Lazy Daisy stitch a stem in white?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This one here. Somebody asked me recently if I would do lavender, and I thought to myself, you know what? That stem could look like lavender.
Oh, they asked you if you could, they asked you if you could make the flower look like lavender.
Well, they asked me to do the flower lavender.
Oh, just do a flower that is lavender.
Yes. And I thought to myself, well, this stem could look like a stalk of lavender if you just used a different color for the Lazy Daisy stitches. And I also thought to myself, purple doesn't fit in with what I'm doing here, so I'm just going to make them white. So, you know.
So you're saying this is white lavender?
Yes. I'm riffing, okay? Okay. I'm freestyling over here.
That was a song, right? White Lavender in that little boy style?
What?
Oh, that was Black Velvet. I'm sorry. I'm completely upside down. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Is there a cat over there?
I'm sure there is.
I keep hearing sounds. I can't tell if that's a cat or if that's snow melting off of the roof.
It could be either.
I don't think it's a cat.
I thought it was.
Even though everybody in the chat right now is like, did you say cat?
Yes.
Is there a cat? Can I see the cat? No, there's no cats. Nice try.
I think there might be a cat, but we don't see him.
Deborah says the white could be baby's breath.
It could.
It could be baby's breath, or it could be lavender. I love that you said when you described this that you thought to yourself. You didn't think to yourself. We had this conversation the other day.
No, I had thought to myself first, and then I was chatting with you about
No, I don't believe you. I think it was more organic than that.
Okay, fine. All right. So, to do these, the Lazy Daisy stitches, you're going to come up through one of the holes here.
Okay.
I like to go up one side and back down the other. So, you're going to go up, then come back down through that same hole. You create a loop.
Okay, I've gone up the hole, I've gone back down the hole, now I have a loop.
Now this here is where you want your loop to get anchored. So you're going to pull through.
You went through a third hole there.
Yes, it did. Second hole.
A second hole.
You're going to pull through. I like to hold it with my thumb.
Yep.
And then pull till it's tight. Holding it with your thumb keeps it from going straight through the hole and becoming one straight, one straight stitch. So there's that guy. Sorry, I'm trying to see where I'm going now. So you skip a hole to go up to the next one. And you do the same thing. You create a loop.
So the loop is because you've gone up and down the hole, the same hole.
The same hole, yes.
Okay, you go up the hole and then you go back down the same hole and you got a loop.
Yes.
And then you go through a second hole.
A second hole where the end of your loop will be.
And you pull it through the loop.
And then hold it with your thumb. Pull it through.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. Then
you skip a hole.
So easy a caveman could do it.
I'd like the duck with the mango salsa.
I'll have the roast duck with the mango salsa. I've lost my appetite.
Here's the third one.
Okay, another Lazy Daisy.
Indeed.
This doesn't seem lazy at all.
Well,
who called it, Shari? Can you get the book and find out who called it lazy? Was her name Daisy? Maybe it was Daisy who was lazy. All she wanted to do was stitch.
There you go. And then here at the end, I'm going to go up.
Deborah says my Lazy Daisy stitches become straight stitches.
Yeah, so that's why I hold it with my thumb.
You got to hold it with your thumb, Deborah.
Because if you pull too tight without holding the loop, it will turn into a straight stitch. So I just hold it.
Hold it.
And then you come back down in to anchor it in. And that way the tension can't pull the whole stitch through. Excuse me.
I should get better at hitting the mute button right before you cough. Every time you go like this, I was
apologize.
Zick, zick. I'm just in there.
I'm still recovering.
Can you, the next time you hold the loop with your thumb, I want you to you're holding the flower kind of upright. Oh, you should try and flatten your hand a little bit.
My apologies.
This is great. You can see me gesturing in my little circle. Open palm, closed palm. How many strands are you using right now?
6.
You're using the full 6 strands.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Okay.
Turns out you'd send a kid to preschool. The whole family gets sick for like 2 years.
This is going to be on YouTube forever. She's going to find this.
Okay.
That time I think I worked it out, everyone.
Did you?
So yeah, we're using all 6 strands here. Big dogs only for the Lazy Daisy stitch.
I do have cough drop in now. It just isn't helping. Okay. So loop.
You're holding your, wait, where's the loop?
Loop. Loop to the thing there.
Uh-huh.
Then I hold with my thumb.
Uh-huh.
Then I come back down through and tighten.
Et voila.
Et voila. And this is the last one. Loop.
One more Lazy Daisy on our lavender that's not baby's breath.
There we go. And then you tie off the ends.
Okay, we're going to tie it off. Shari says that the stitch book is a carry-along reference, so it doesn't contain the full history or origins. You're saying it's like a pocket, guide? It's like some kind of, just right here in your shirt pocket. I'm just going to carry that around a little bit. Okay. Full history or origins. Well, maybe that's what the next time I'm on a live, maybe I'll just be in the chat.
Are you coming with the history, sir?
I'm not going to do the history.
I haven't coughed all day, and I get on the internet, and there it goes. All right, so there's our Lazy Daisy stitch, and now we're going to come back with the dark green and create the stem part.
Shari says she sent me a photo. Oh, look at that! Instagram confirms this information. How did I know that it was going to be written by someone named Janice? How did I know that? How did I know?
The laughing is not helping, sir.
Don't we all carry stitch books? That's right.
Okay.
Okay, so Lazy Daisy is finished.
Yes.
That's 3 of the 5 stems? No, now you're going to do the green part.
I'm going to do the green part.
Doing the green part of the white stem.
I'm doing a darker color here just to add some contrast. This is 3051.
Okay. This is great, everyone. If this is the first time you're joining us, my name is Sean, and that's Lizzie. We're in these 2 bubbles like the smallest Brady Bunch here, and we're with Poshta Design. And when I say we're with Poshta Design, what I mean is Lizzie is most of Poshta Design, and I'm just the glare on the video at Poshta Design here today too. And she is showing how to use the stitching die, which is called Fresh Flowers. Fresh Flowers can be found on the internet where fine stitching die products are sold, aka our website. And we're showing you how to stitch this project. This has been one of our latest releases here Valentine's Day at the break of 2024-2025. And if you're wondering how to stitch along with the stitching die, we're just getting the stems put onto this bad boy.
Yeah, so you're just going to do exactly the same thing with these.
You meaning a running stitch?
Yes.
We're doing a running stitch now that we've finished the Lazy Daisy on the stem.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, it'd be awesome if you do subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified when we go live. And this video will be on YouTube when we're done, so that way you'll be able to come back to it.
Excuse me.
And hear us cough.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I assure you, you're not the first person to cough on YouTube. I can assure you that.
Perhaps not.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not the first person to do that thing. That's great. Look at that. Just running.
Running stitch.
Uh-huh. Every time you flip it over backwards, I can see that you started at the bottom and end at the bottom because your knots are in the same place. It's a very tidy bit of business there. See?
Well,
look, whoop, there they are.
I try and keep things a little bit clean because otherwise I get distracted and things get messy and knotted. And ugh.
Now, we think that the stitching is going to go until what time today?
Until we have to pick up our child from school.
Do we think we're going to get all the way there by, it's 1:35 Eastern Standard Time right now? Oh, that's excellent. That's great.
Determined to do it.
And since we're on YouTube, you could, this could be on your tablet right now. This could be on your desktop right now. It could be on your phone right now if you're enjoying lunch. Or you could put it in the car and take it driving with you somewhere. I don't know. That seems safe, right?
No.
Yeah, that seems super safe. If I knew how to use the software better, I could put a little disclaimer up in the window right now that says,
"Don't listen to Sean.
We don't condone stitching and driving."
Well, not if you're the one driving. No. Okay. This color is not in the Vintage Charm color story, this thread, but I just think it's nice to give a couple of different colors for some contrast in the stems. That's entirely your preference.
I'm sorry, say that again. I was learning how to use this software again.
I said this thread color, this darker color, not included in the
Vintage Charm color story. Is this Weathered Moss?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we're using a second color of green just to add some more interest.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, got a knot.
Uh-oh. Bagheera's got a knot in his tail. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. People are going to see how much you're giving that thing the business. That was great.
Well, I'm just going to hope it ends up on the back at the moment.
Now I'm talking. Now we're talking. That's what you do.
I'm sorry with the coughing.
Deborah says she feels like I'm in a stitching circle. That's great because I feel like I'm in a blue circle, and I think Lizzie is also in a blue circle. So this is great. Better than being in a stitching coven, that's for sure.
Oh, I don't know. It depends on your point of view, I suppose.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't want to be put on trial.
That's fair.
So, Salem or otherwise. And which stem, so this is the stem that is leading up to which of the flowers?
This is the stem, like the whole, it doesn't have
Oh, this is the stem for the baby's breath.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I see which way you're going now.
All right. So we're going to tie it off at the top.
Okay.
And then we're going to whip stitch again.
Tying it off at the top and then whip stitch again?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why are you tying it off at the top if you're just going to whip stitch it?
Because that way it's secure at the top and at the bottom.
Oh, got it. So before you go, I'm sorry, you do the running stitch up, and up and down.
Uh-huh.
You've completed the entire running stitch.
Correct.
Then you tie it off.
Yes.
And then you whip stitch.
Correct.
Oh, I had no idea. I missed that on the first two stems.
Well, see, this is why we're doing the whole thing.
See, people were like, you don't have to stitch the whole thing. And you were like, we have to stitch the whole thing.
Well,
we're giving them the whole enchilada.
I did think to myself, maybe I could stitch a couple of these stems ahead. But then I decided, no, let's just...
We're not doing any switch outs. This is like...
Nope, this is it.
Yeah, this is just a dash. This isn't cooking something. This is just a dash. Yeah. She said, Deborah says the quiet cough is kind of creepy. If you want, I'll stop muting it. That's fine. That's great.
I'm sorry for the coughing, everybody.
You shouldn't be sorry for the coughing. I'm grateful for the chat. This is excellent. It's great for the chat to let us know.
Wednesday was not good. Yesterday was fine.
You're living in the past. We're talking. I'm living in the future here. I'm excited about flowers.
I was hoping to do this earlier in the week, but we got derailed by illness.
We got derailed by life.
Yes.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, so now we're whipping it all the way back down to the bottom.
Now we're whipping it all the way back down to the bottom.
Whipping it back to the bottom. Okay. Oh, someone says they're working on a heart garland and watching us at the same time, and it's so much fun. Well, that's kind of you. Really that's great. Fun. That's Joanne Williams is saying that. I have no idea if people who... first of all, I think when the live is over, I don't think the chat lives on. Is that correct or incorrect in the YouTube?
Yeah, I think when the live is over, the chat stops.
The chat stops. So I'm just out here naming names, and I don't know if that's a thing that people enjoy having or don't enjoy happening. But
no,
if someone would like to see a heart garland when they're done, they're gonna have to figure out.
She's on Instagram.
Heck yeah. Oh, Shari says she needs to cut some hearts. That's great.
Oh.
That is great. It is the season for hearts, that's for sure. When I drove past Green Velvet today, they had a whole like Valentine's thing was up.
Oh, did they?
I think I noticed that for the first time. Yeah, I'm not usually looking that direction.
That's a story.
Oh, Shari says the chat will live on if you want it to. All right, well, I have from now until the end of this fresh flowers to decide to whether or not I want all of these comments, all these laughing emojis here to live on or to not live on. That's great. Perhaps I'll have to reread it. As long as everyone is remembering to guard our privacy and abide by our community guidelines. That's going to be the important part.
There you go.
At least that's what the YouTube disclaimer said.
I just unthreaded my needle again.
I thought I noticed you unthreading your needle just now.
It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It just sort of happened.
Okay.
And I'm not pretending like I don't spit on my thread. This point.
Whoa, hang on a second. Whoa, you're just going to talk about that?
They can see me.
Yeah, of course they can see you, but they've got to really be watching your circle. I can't tell if they're watching your circle if they're more mesmerized by your hands.
Well, I mean, I've done it a couple of times. So.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, it's staying in the family.
We don't have any, yeah. That's what you think, it's staying in the, who knows? Who knows what could happen with this bad boy?
I do. Okay.
Someday. It is forever felt. It could be around forever.
He keeps trying to brand our felt.
No, you don't. We're not going to have that conversation in front of the entire group. I didn't even say. I just said the felt could last forever. That's all I said.
No, you called it forever felt.
Well,
dang it, I did it again.
Uh-oh, here we go again. Oh, boy.
I mean, I can grab a threader if you really want me to.
No, I don't know the first thing about threaders, so I think you were really fast earlier. I still have this rubber band around my wrist from packing orders this morning, which is now starting to bother me, so I'm going to take it off.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Mm-hmm, that's great.
Yes, Sean was packing orders this morning while I was making French toast for the world's crankiest 4-year-old.
Yeah, see, that, again, going to live on. So, going to live on.
I didn't video it or anything.
I mean, like, let's just imagine that we make a number of these videos so that people know how to use stitching dies, right?
Uh-huh, yeah.
And imagine if you were going to look up, like, which of the videos would you really want to see? You would absolutely want to go back and watch the first. That's what I would do, right? I would be like, I want to watch the very first video because I want to see it when it was at its, like, most what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, most unhinged. No, like its most primordial state. That's what I want to see. Like, give it to me like that. So now here we are just talking about French toast and behavior. This is great.
She was just grumpy. All right. Tying that one off. And I'm going to slide it underneath one of the other stitches before I cut it.
Because everybody wants to know how you get your knots, how you hide them.
Like that. Well, the knots for the edges, I'll show you those too.
Okay. And now you can see it's starting to get a little tight in that little spot in the middle, right? And you were like, don't worry about that. It's going to smooth out.
It's getting wobbly.
I can see that. A layperson.
A layperson.
Yeah, right here. I can see that.
There. Trimming off all my extra bits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do the stem with the leaves.
I'm going to have to cut some hearts too the next time we do this. I'll just be in my little...
Sean keeps threatening to have projects of his own. But...
Well, now that I'm here at your side and we're doing this live stitching, I realize I probably should have something to do other than just fold my fingers together.
And talk to me.
It does really feel like it's sort of... Well, I can still do jokes when I'm stitching. It's pretty like... Who are the Statler and Waldorf, right?
Here comes a cat.
Oh my gosh, Cheddar Cheese is entering the chat. This is great. This is great. Oh, Jennifer says, yay, I just received confirmation my order has shipped this morning. That's spectacular.
Yeah,
That notification may mean that the shipping label was created. Don't worry, your packages are still going to go out today. Right now, they're in the trunk of our automobile to be dropped off at the post office at the conclusion. This is some real inside baseball that we're doing now. At the conclusion of this video, I will jump back into my automobile Oh, boylins,
No,
cheddar cheese.
cheddar
No,
cheese.
thank you. You can't do that. You can't do that. How do I? You can't do that, cheddar.
I've got a layered leaf now that I'm going to just running stitch onto this stem. Excuse me. So I'm just...
I can't zoom out the picture that your hands are on enough right now to get cheddar cheese. No one knows what's happening here.
He's right in front of me.
Yeah, cheddar cheese is physically on the table, but you can't see him yet. I'm zooming out. Oh boy, you don't want to zoom that far out, Sean. Grow
cool.
up. Oh, there goes his tail. Oh, for maybe a second, you got to see his tail. See you later, Cheddar. Thanks for nothing.
Oh, stop.
Well, he could have hung out, you know what I mean?
Well, nobody was petting him, so he left.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like I came up to see you guys.
What a close call that was. Here, I've got to move. There we go. Moving it back in. Oh, boy. Here, let's put it right there. Oh, look at that. Okay, great.
Okay, I like to start on the center stem with this one with the leaves.
Uh-huh.
Just because it's the continual line. These two kind of branch off, but this is the continual line. So I like to start that one first.
Wait, hang on a second. You have to. I wasn't listening. I was trying to watch. Oh my gosh, there's so much has happened since the last time I was really paying attention. So, Cheddar came and went, and we were talking about shipping confirmation. You picked up a green piece of felt.
Yep.
And you've attached it to the blue piece of felt.
Correct.
You picked up a leaf and pea pod. Pea pod?
Yes.
A leaf and pea pod, and you've attached it to Glacier, which is the backdrop, and You're stitching it now with a running stitch.
Yes.
And you said something about splitting or something.
This branch has like the center stem and then two little branches that come off of it.
There's a center stem and there's two branches that come off of it.
I like to do the center stem first.
You're going to do the center stem first?
Yes.
I mean, everybody would do the center stem first. I don't know how to I can't put a poll up all that quickly.
I don't know who wants to do which stems
No,
first.
Everybody is going to do the center stem first. That's
Strong
it. No
words.
one's going left or right first. Everybody's going straight down the middle first.
In the event that you don't.
In the event that you don't.
That is how I like to do it.
Yeah, but people came to learn from you. They're sitting.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so they're okay. So you and you didn't have to do anything special to get the green thing on there, right? You just stitched through it.
You just stitched through it.
You just stitched through it. And now you're going running stitch from the top where you started. So you didn't start this one at the bottom, you started at the top.
I have started all of them at the top.
Oh, okay. You started this one at the top like all the other ones did. Again, we're 48 minutes now into this. I have watched you stitch 4 stems and I've now determined
to any of them?
No, I'm not paying that close attention. I got time to double back on this.
Speaking of doubling back, I'm at the end of the stem.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That was a segue. Did you see that?
I did.
That was great. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. I only know how to segue talking about names of athletes.
Yes,
because that's how they do it on sports radio. You know what I mean? Speaking of defensemen, and then they talk about a different person. You know what I'm saying? And you're using weathered moss for this stem as well?
Correct.
Okay, that's great.
Because I've got the pea pod leaves, and so I didn't want it to
Oh, yeah, of course. If I was stitching in this chair next to you, I would do the same exact thing.
I do love a contrast, you see.
Okay, and this is magnetized, right?
Yeah.
This little guy here is magnetized?
Yes.
Okay,
that
that's
is
great.
a sheet of magnet.
A sheet of magnet, okay.
I don't think anybody can see that.
No, of course they can't see it. Why would I want to show them? So I'm talking about, we happen to have all of the die components that you would get with fresh flowers. If I could hold this straight, oh, there we go. In this tiny little window here, that's nice.
I'm sure they can see all of the...
I'm pushing it in tighter now, and I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to go like this. Oh, it got worse, not better, everybody. Then you got the leaves there at the bottom of this magnet. So we're working on these leaves. No, yes. Wrong side. These, yeah, look at. What if I got a little refrigerator? Okay, right down there are the leaves that we're adding onto the backdrop at this point in time. That's great. Shari says magnet sheets are the best storage. Breaking news, she does not use magnet sheets for storage.
Not for storage.
Where's the project bag? Where did that end up? Yeah, she's on team project bags. So these little zipper bags is how she likes to do the storage. That doesn't mean that you can't go magnet sheet. That's fine.
No, I've seen Shari's organization. It's very impressive. I'm just...
Oh, now we're outnumbered. Now it's 2 people for magnet sheets for the win. Somebody asked, what do you attach the whole design to when it's finished? So the design has a front and a back.
Yeah, I just do a second one on the back.
She does a second one.
I've already done it.
Here, let me take that from you.
There's some threads on the...
There's some threads on the what?
Flower.
On the flower there? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me just tidy that up for you. I didn't bring my lint roller to the chat today. So we've already done the back of this die. So there I'm brandishing it for you. Yes. Now you can see how long my arm is by how that perspective is. There you go. So Lizzie already stitched one of these exact guys for the back. So it's going to have a front and a back.
It's just mirrored.
Everything is mirror images of each other. That's what the back is going to be attached to.
All right. So I'm tying this one off.
Shari says, I have mine on magnet sheets in job ticket holders with the instructions in page protectors, all of that in a project bag.
I have seen Shari's organization. Is very impressive.
I feel bad. Shari's now going to have to send me a photo of what a job ticket holder is. Ain't nobody knows what that means. And I guess I could open another window here, but I've got a lot happening. As you can tell, got a lot happening right now. Yeah. You know, I've got multiple screens and a chat to deal with.
All right.
And a cat and a rubber band.
We're going to whip stitch, but again, now you're on the second layer of felt. You got to be careful not to pick up too much felt when you whip stitch.
I'm like leaning in. I'm leaning into the screen even closer. I could watch your hands, which are only a few feet away from my nose, but instead I'm like, so you're whip stitching on the leaves now.
Yes.
And you said you have to be careful because of what?
There's another layer of felt there. Just because it...
That was implied. I don't understand. What's the careful part?
You don't want to pick up too much of the felt that's around the stitches.
You're saying you don't want to stitch through the felt?
Not so much. You just want to get underneath the stitch.
Uh-huh.
You could use like a tapestry needle for this step. It would go faster. Maybe be a little easier because you're not dealing with...
With a what kind of needle?
A tapestry needle. They're blunt.
Oh, a tapestry needle.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or like a cross stitch needle.
Yeah, that's what I call them.
Well,
a blunt needle. Oh no, did you just oh boy.
I just undid it.
Oh boy, here we go.
That's all right.
This is all right. This. Okay.
However, I don't feel like switching needles, so there's the lazy part of the lazy Lizzie.
This is going to go here next to you somewhere. Let's see if I can get this bad boy back onto the shot. That's the completed one that's going to be the back.
Yes, that is a mirror image of this one.
A mirror image of this one. So they're going to be stitched together.
Correct.
Okay, great.
Around the outer edge.
Oh boy, they're large plastic holders. Wow. This is great.
He says he's not going to Google it, but now he's Googling it.
Oh, nothing was mentioned about the, I don't know why it won't let me screenshot that bad boy. Nothing was mentioned about the P-Touch labels. It didn't say that. All that protect. Yeah, there's also a little P-Touch label right there. Oh, and this is great. It's so on brand because the two that she sent me, it's a photo of the smiling scarecrow and the falling leaves and the turkey trot. Those are all there together. Look at that. Okay, great.
Yeah, mine are all just in zipper bags in a bin.
Which is great because then when you go to look for a part, it's like getting some change out of a little change purse. This is that's how I'm judging. Change.
The magnets would be particularly helpful for the alphabet. The alphabets I keep together and then it's just a disaster. But
I'm sorry, what's a disaster?
The alphabets. Because they're all just like in there together. And I did it again.
Oh, Lord.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst.
So when is it that we're going to go back and catch up with those two stems that you would never start by using the side stems? You would only start using the center stem. So when are we going to double back and get those in the mix?
I'll do those in a minute.
Okay, when you get back to the top of your whip stitch?
When I'm done with my whip stitch.
But you're going to be at the bottom when you're done whip stitching.
Correct.
And then you have to go back to the top.
Yeah, they're just separate threads.
Okay. And how many strands of floss are you doing again right now?
Still 3.
Still 3. Okay, because it's not a lazy daisy.
No. The lazy daisies I do with 6. Just because they're bolder that way. You can do them with 3. You certainly could. There's no reason you couldn't. They're just a little bit bolder if you do them with 6.
It depends on how straight my Lazy Daisy stitches would be. Maybe I'd start with 3, and if I got better, I'd make them 4, and then if I got better, I'd make them 5, and they're like resistance bands at that point in time. You know what I'm saying?
Not exactly.
Yeah, they get bigger. That's all. Okay.
Good. Okay.
Now we're stitching.
Yes.
It's okay. That part of the conversation happened with my hand in front of my face, so nobody could hear it anyways.
Still whip stitching.
Still whip stitching.
Still whip stitching.
Whip. This is great. It's a whole video of people watching you whip. Someone else is keeping theirs on magnetic sheets and stored in page pockets.
Oh,
and then
smart.
Sorted by season and stored in a binder. That's got to be a heavy binder. That's got to be a really...
very heavy.
You want to lift that binder with your legs. That's what you're going to do once you get everything in there.
All right. We are down to the end. So I'm going to go back through that end hole.
Boom.
And then tie it off.
Uh-huh. Right through there.
Right through there. Oh, don't be too small.
Shazam. It's okay. It's okay. Yes.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
You have to want it. Oh, wow. This was just... That was a nonstop thrill ride right there. Did you see that? I was on the back of my seat.
Wild.
I didn't move to the edge of my seat.
Wild in the streets.
Ah, is she going to get it done? That's great. That's great. Wow.
Okay. So there's that stem.
Amazing. Boom.
And then I'm just going to do some shorter ones.
Notice that you're doing this with your weathered moss, which is coming off of your new weathered moss floss.
Got all my floss bobbins done.
Oh my gosh, all my floss bobbins are done. New year, new floss bobbins, everybody.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Big deal. Big doings. I was very excited to get those done.
I tried to help with the floss, bobbins, because I thought if there is a stitching project for me to do first, wouldn't it be great if the first project that I did were these tiny rectangles with little bump outs on them? I was like, isn't this a great way to get started? I can take some of that off your plate. It'll get done faster. And the answer to all these questions were no, 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 and no. You have to have your own project. That's what you said.
It's very satisfying to get to do something like that.
Yes, and now I don't have the sasatisfaction.
No,
that's the problem.
I do.
Oh boy. Let's just do everything you want to do.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Hey, oh wait. Oh, now that stem is not just a stem. It's going to have leaves on it too.
Yeah, so he's got leaves too.
Dude, I've got to keep up right here because you're shifty with this.
I'm not shifty.
Super sneaky. You didn't tell me that this was going to have leaves on it. I can see that there are leaves on the other one, but that doesn't mean that I'm paying attention. Okay.
I'm just trying to make sure that we get this thing done before we have to go get our child from school.
At least one of us is nervous. You're full of surprises, though.
All right.
Someone has more. Oh, someone says they have more than a few of those binders. So I think they're saying that to mean they don't have to lift with their legs.
There you have it.
Yeah, I don't have to lift these with my legs. I have lots of binders. I have binders full of magnets.
Be careful.
That's great. I'm being very careful. Nothing could be more careful than that. Okay. So are you going to whip stitch these too?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're going to whip stitch these too. And then and then there's one more stem, right?
I may have.
Uh-oh.
Well, I definitely skipped something.
What did you skip?
I think when I stitched around the top of the leaf, I did not go through the back of the... So it looks
That's okay. It's going to have a little extra...
But it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I was just... I'll when I go to whip stitch it, it'll...
But that leaf is already attached. Look at that. Boom.
Yeah, that leaf's already attached. Those little side stems, they go quick.
Side stem goes really quick. That was fast. That was so fast, I almost said HELL. But then I was like,
careful.
Careful. Community guidelines.
All right. So again, you're just whip stitching.
Uh-huh. And then you're going to do the other leaf on the side.
Yep.
And then what's going to happen? Are you doing tulip stem after that?
Perhaps.
As the final stem, or which direction were you going to go with this?
I was going to go tulip stem.
Tulip stem. And then
you got to get the last stem done.
Want to get the last stem done. All 5 stems are going to be done then.
Yes.
And then once you've got the 5th stem done, then it's just flower time.
Correct.
Which really, there are only 3 flowers I can see now. So we have the lavender, which was the lazy daisy stitch.
Correct.
This isn't a flower. This is some greenery on the back of a flower, presumably.
What?
Is this stem right here? This is the stem of greenery. This is not the leaves poking out from under the flowers. In your head, when you imagine this as a real bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, but, you know, you add a little color to it. It can be whatever you want it to be.
No, you said yeah, but that isn't clear to me. These are the leaves for one of the colored flowers, you think? Or you think, no, this is a stem of greenery in the bouquet?
In my mind originally.
In your mind originally. That's what I'm asking. I'm trying to get there.
Yes, it was a stem of greenery.
This is a stem of greenery.
Like, you know, when they put eucalyptus in a bouquet or something.
Yeah, or like a fern.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so that is some eucalyptus.
It doesn't have to be, though.
Well, what else could it be then?
It could be lavender.
Oh, no, not...
Or what's the one? What?
Everything's lavender.
Or it could be like, what's the pokey one? Is it called spirea, maybe?
The spirea, maybe? We have to get somebody else in the chat who knows more about flowers.
Than
or at least bouquets than we do. I mean, I feel like I know I don't know a pretty good amount about flowers. I dabble, but I definitely don't know about that. A stem of greenery. There we go. Everyone's welcome to put their favorite greenery into the chat to save us from ourselves. Yeah.
It could be bells of Ireland.
Bells of Ireland could certainly be in there. Yeah. Or it could be, or I mean, really, it's tall. It could be gladiolus that just hasn't opened up yet.
That just hasn't opened up?
Hasn't opened up yet. Some gladiolus there in the back.
There we go.
Standing tall, standing proud.
Standing proud.
There you go.
All right. So that guy's on now too.
Woo! Look at that, everybody.
No,
so now we have 4 stems and 3 leaves is where we've got
4 stems, 3 leaves, and some not lavender.
Not lavender. What's funny about lavender is it reminds me of, like, do you remember that old episode of Kitchen Nightmares where Gordon Ramsay went into that place and every time he asked them when something was made, it was like Tuesday. And then he was like, when'd you make the refried beans? Tuesday. When'd you make the chips? Tuesday. Like literally everything was Tuesday. Right. So that's where we are right now. Everything
was made Tuesday.
It's lavender.
Everything is lavender.
Uh-huh. Mary wants us to know that greenery covers any type of leaves. And yes, any types of leaves. That's great.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Here we go.
Here we go with what? Oh, you're about to whip that leaf. We're about to whip that leaf now?
I've whipped part of the leaf.
That's great. Oh, snap. Did we just do it again?
Dropped it again.
Oh, boy. If I wish I could do a little graphic, I could put a little, like, chalkboard on the side and we would just put little tick marks.
Oh, that's nice. That's not at all stressful.
Just like that. There's nothing about this that's stressful. This is the most casual I felt while in the middle of an afternoon in quite some time.
This has been fun.
Super casual here.
All right.
Okay.
If you notice your whip stitches are bunching up a little, you can just like hold and pull and it'll straighten things out a little bit.
Okay, so if your whip stitches are bunching, you just hold and pull it.
You want to hold the end so it doesn't
At that point in time, they're flat as a fiddle.
Not flat as they straighten out a little bit.
They straighten out. Okay, sorry, I don't want to oversell it.
Don't oversell
it. They straighten out a little bit.
They straighten out enough.
Enough.
Yeah,
straight enough for who it's for. Straight enough for who it's for. That's great.
That's right. And then I'm just gonna just tying it off.
Okay, spectacular.
And then we'll do...
Yeah, what are we doing next? We're doing the last stem, which is, it looks like it's the shortest stem.
It's not.
Oh.
I already did the shortest stem.
Which one was the shortest stem?
The one with the tulip on it.
No, the tulip is the one that you said you still had to do.
Sorry, the daisy's the one I have to do.
Oh, the daisy. Oh, because it's a mirror image.
Indeed.
Oh my God. Just now when you set that down, I realized that the lavender is on the left and the gladiolus is on the right, and that's not like the one that's over here. If I just... Here are my hands in the chat. Hi, everybody. That's great. Okay.
Yeah, so again, we're just running stitching it.
That's not a camera trick. This is not movie magic. That's a mirror image there.
Yes.
It's an actual mirror image of the item. Yeah, there you go.
And we've already done the trickiest of the stems, so we're just doing this one, is just running stitch and whip stitch. There's nothing else fancy happening with this stem.
Okay, so it's just straight Just a straight stem here.
Yep.
Okay, nothing goofy, nothing floofy.
Nothing goofy, nothing floofy.
Okay.
Just a straight up stem.
And what color are you using?
3364.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Please, in a color that I can understand.
Peapod.
Peapod. Okay, so we're back to double P on this one.
Back to double P.
Okay, so there are only 2 colors of green in the stems.
Yes.
Weathered moss and peapod.
Correct.
Great. 3 strands in the floss.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You could do different color. You could do multiple colors if you wanted to.
You could do lots of different colors if you wanted to.
I just figured this was the easiest way. I wanted to stick with one color story with just a couple of additions, so it was easy for people to follow along with what I'd used.
Yeah, so you didn't have to bring a wheelbarrow to your project today.
Correct.
You know, bring a wagon. A little red wagon of your thread. That's how, if I was going to store my dyes, I would put them in a red wagon.
Would you?
Instead of little project bags.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a lot of pieces to sift through there, sir.
That's okay. You know, that's me with man. Scraping the paint off of the red wagon. And then someday someone sees the wagon. Like, what happened to this wagon? Like, stitching dyes.
Yeah. That's, you definitely want to equate stitching dyes with damage.
Yeah.
That's my first goal.
Yeah, just like that.
These really don't go too terribly slowly. I know that, like, right now I'm doing it on camera, so I'm not holding them as close to my body as I normally do.
Nobody here has a stopwatch, okay? And if I could figure out how to get a stopwatch on this bad boy, I would. But I think people add that in post-production.
That's helpful, yeah.
People only do the stopwatch in a YouTube how-to video when they're really trying to emphasize like how quickly the thing can take, when those guys are doing like the 8-minute baguette.
Yeah, I just don't want people to think that like this is not doable because it takes so long. It doesn't really, it's just...
No one thinks that at all. People want to know it takes what it takes. That's why we're here.
It's just stems.
Just some stems there, yeah. Bloop. Tied off, just like that.
Just like that. And now we'll do the whip, and then we can move on to something else.
All right. Yeah, what are we moving on to? One of the flowers?
Flowers.
After we whip it. Okay, great. Now the flowers, are those also going on in a running stitch?
Yes and no.
That was a very pregnant pause. What happened there?
Well, the stamens of the tulip are just like long straight stitches.
Okay.
And then you use a running stitch on the second layer.
On the second layer of the tulip, which is the pink part.
Well, they're both pink parts.
Give me this thing. What are you talking about?
On the one that I did before, I did 2 different colors, but on this one, I just kept them both.
But you're about to move into some yellow thread. It looks like some chantilly thread.
Correct.
Okay, some chantilly. Oh, no, and then we're going to start beading things here, it looks like.
Well, we don't have to do as much beading.
We're on our way to beading, it looks like. Oh, okay, great.
We're going to do a little beading.
Just checking your work here on the back. Looking nice.
Great.
A tidy bit of business there. Tidy bit of business there on the back. That's great. Okay. I'm noticing the benefit of the whip stitch now that I'm holding this thing in my hand. I don't think I've never looked at a stitching project this closely before.
Yes, it changes the texture for sure.
Yeah. It makes it look twisty.
Yeah, it does. Because it is twisty.
Yeah, okay.
All things being equal, it is twisty.
And people talking about their lazy daisy stitches looking like straight stitches. It's like you have to make your loop big enough that when it lays down again, you can see the 2 sides. Like if the loop was really tight, maybe it would look straight.
That's where the holding it helps. Because when you pull tight, if you don't have something helping it maintain its shape, like your thumb, for example, it can pull straight on through the back.
How great are thumbs?
Well, because when you do a lazy daisy stitch on something that doesn't have the holes pre-cut, the fabric holds it.
Say that again. If I do a lazy daisy stitch on an embroidery project that doesn't have any holes that are pre-cut.
Right. The fabric isn't going to let your whole stitch come back all the way through the back.
Oh.
Because the hole's not there.
Uh-huh.
Right? So the tension that you use with your thumb just keeps it from falling all the way through the project.
And you're holding it at the base of the loop that you made, right?
I mean, I pretty much cover the whole.
Cover the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Big thumbs.
Big thumbs. I do have very large.
No, we're not.
I do. My dad and I have the same size hands, and he's 6'4". Okay.
Okay, here we go. You just slid that. You buried that in the middle of this live. That was great.
Okay, so we'll start with the tulip flower here. And where's that thread? Here it is. I'm going to use 746. And on the stamens, I'm going to use 2 strands instead of 3.
Ooh, 2 strands instead of 3. Okay.
It's a little delicate.
Okay, a little delicate. I'm just recognizing that I can update as this is going on without Shari being like, yeah, Sean, you can do that. I'm going to update the descriptions here to include the Vintage Charm color story.
Ah, yes. Okay, so we're going to go, there's this base hole here of the flower. Whoop.
I've always wanted to type on a live stream.
Lucky
that
you.
clicking sound is just so soothing, isn't it?
All right, so you're going to come up through one of these holes, pull, and then you go back through that center hole, up, back down through one of the ends, and then I like to save the last one to be the center.
So this is a time when the center one is not the first.
No, I like that to be the last one so it lays on top. You're ultimately going to cover up that.
You're almost basting it on at that point in time. It's like a long, because it's just a long straight stitch. That whole piece just kind of like basted on there at first.
And then the second layer really secures
is what's really going to secure it down when you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I need the pink is 818. And I'm back to 3 strands.
Because now you're going to be stitching around the perimeter of the flower.
Yes.
Great. Wow, someone has learned the whip stitch thanks to us. That's wonderful.
Oh, that's fun.
We're so glad. I just learned how to do a whip stitch for the first time.
You did?
Yes. What do you mean I did? How is that surprising?
Because you did cross stitch and stuff when you were a kid.
Oh, Lord, I'm sorry. Are people whip stitching in cross stitch?
I don't know.
I don't think that's a thing. Someone in the chat would have to tell us.
So we've got our layer here of our top layer for our flower.
Or someone in the chat, don't tell us. I'm not that interested.
It's going to come in through the bottom.
He's kidding. He is interested. Okay, so you're coming up through the bottom.
About everything.
You're coming through the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm just going to do a running stitch around the edges.
A running stitch around the edges. In the flower, again, this is the tulip.
Yes.
Okay.
And all the holes are there for you.
All the holes are there for me.
Yep.
Where did you put the mirror image base layer there? Where did I put the mirror image base layer?
Yeah, you took it.
Oh, I found it. Here we go. No, don't take it further away. Oh, there it is. I'm so sorry. People want to see that. That's great. So we're putting the top layer there onto the light pink colored flower that you can see there on the project table.
Correct.
The bottom layer has been put on with some long straight stitches.
Yes.
And we're using, I'm sorry, what color thread? We're using the yellow thread right now?
No, I'm using the pink. This is 818 satin slipper.
And you use yellow for the first stitches or no?
Yes.
Okay, so it was 2 threads.
746.
Of the Chantilly.
Of the Chantilly.
You're just out here naming numbers, like weird flex, but okay. Yeah, Shari's asking, how do you whip stitch and cross stitch? I don't think you do. No, I don't think, I never learned, no, I only learned 2.
I just didn't know since you had done so much stitching as a youth.
So much stitching. Okay, look, I learned how to cross stitch in 6th grade art class from Mrs. Schmidt.
Yes, but you did pieces when you
Rhymes
were older.
with, we loved her. No one ever, yeah, okay, so Mrs. Schmidt taught us how to, and the only thing you did were you did the X's. And you did the back stitching. That was it. There was nothing else. I don't even think there was really any back. I don't really know that back stitching was like
a big deal. When
maybe even a part of the class. I don't know, maybe it was. I don't remember. The first thing we ever, I believe the first project that we stitched that everyone had to stitch was like a teddy bear.
Okay.
Which seems strange for a 6th grader, I know, but it was...
No shame.
Yeah, it was, it was 1996. No, what year was it? Little refrigerator. Okay.
And then, so we've running stitched all the way around.
Okay.
And we're back at the beginning, so I'm just going to go back the other direction to fill in those empty stitches.
Okay. Shari says maybe on the edges. I don't know what to do with the edges of anything, Shari. When I do, that's one of the reasons I don't do a lot of cross-stitching projects is because I'm like, what do you do when you're done? You just cut the Ada floss and then you put it in a frame. Like, that's it. Ada cloth. Ada cloth. You just cut it and put it in a frame. That's it. There's no other way to finish anything. Like, it's prevented me from, like, making bookmarks. Or people, they do the thing, right, where they go in to the Ada cloth and they pull, what's it called when you, like, pull the strands out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
To, like, frill it around the edges or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's another way to finish a project. Oh, someone wants to know how people like to store their felt rolls.
I store them in big baskets by color.
Big baskets by color.
They're actually drawer baskets, but they're baskets.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a warm.
You have a warm
drawer,
basket, a warm drawer basket,
a cool drawer, and a neutral.
Warm, cool, neutral.
Yep.
Great. And warm, everybody, that's red, orange, yellow. Cool is green, blue, purple. And then the neutrals are anything that is not a color that I just listed.
Indeed.
Oh, there we go. That's my best contribution today.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
I finally hit my stride now that we're 1 hour and 16 minutes and 36 seconds into this bad boy.
I thought you said there wasn't a time.
I just see a timer now. It's in the upper left-hand corner. I don't know if people watching this, maybe that means that people watching this
would you do me a favor
Yeah,
and plug in the hot glue gun, please?
Oh, everybody, guess what? I get to plug in the hot glue gun. Look at that bad boy, huh?
That's right.
You can tell it's been used. Where do you want me to plug this thing in?
There are 2 power strips by your feet.
I'm just not trying to blow,
One of them has plenty of space.
Okay, I don't. This is by my feet. Okay, everybody.
The white one.
Hang on, everybody. I'll be right back. This little light of mine. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So that's that flower. That's all it takes.
What a convenient way you found to get me out of the shot.
I didn't do it on purpose. For that,
People are going to be upset. I disappeared. Okay, I'm back like a bad dream. Okay, here we go. Oh boy. Is that far enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
What are you about to hot glue?
The bow.
I'm on the edge of my seat now. Oh, the bow?
The bow.
You're doing the bow before the other flowers?
No, I'm doing the other flowers, but that's going to have to warm up.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because it's a hot glue gun, sir.
Wow, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Planning your work and working your plan. Okay.
Oh, dear. Okay. All right.
Someone wanted to know if we have a chart matching our felt colors to matching floss numbers. Not yet.
I'm working on it. We've got a lot of things we're working on right now. That's one of them.
Everybody in the chat just now that heard my fingers is like, that young man, he types 74 words a minute at least. I know the sound of 74 words a minute.
All right. So you're silly.
Uh-huh.
The flowers.
Yep.
Just sort of you're going to layer them. They don't have like a right way or a wrong way necessarily.
Uh-huh.
You're just going to layer them till the holes line up.
Okay, so these are 3 different sets of felt flowers.
Yep. These are the big one in the middle here.
And there are 3 different dies that do that, which come with the fresh flowers.
Correct.
So if I held this up, you can see them over here, the 3 different size flower dies. And you're just arranging them in a way that looks pleasing to your eye.
Correct.
So that the holes line up in the middle.
Yes.
And then you're going to line it up to the holes in the background.
Correct.
And then you're going to smash that circle piece right on top.
Yes. Now, it's hard to see through them when I'm doing it like I am right now because I don't have it like right up next to my face.
That's 5 layers of felt you're stitching through.
Yes.
I can count.
So just it.
And you're using the yellow thread again, the Chantilly yellow thread.
746.
746. Everyone knew that.
I don't know that everyone did. That's why I mentioned it.
I didn't know it, that's for sure.
And you're just going to go around the circle with the running stitch.
Uh-huh. And are you going to whip this one or not?
No.
No, we're not whipping this one. We don't want the center of this to be fuzzy, but maybe you do. Maybe you want that texture there. And what sort of flower?
Fuzzy.
Yeah, whip stitch. It makes it fuzzy. Twisty, twizzly. Twizzly, a twizzle stitch. A Twizzler stitch. What kind of flower, when you were drawing this, what kind of flower did you think this was? I
don't know, a sort of a violet-y kind of vibe, but not really. A violet?
It's not, so it's definitely not lavender.
No.
Okay, so it's not a lavender flower there in the middle?
No.
You didn't think this was a peony or something, huh?
It could be. Like I said, it was just sort of a frilly, it didn't have like a specific reference flower. I was just sort of going for something fun and floofy and...
Could be a chrysanthemum, that's right. Someone has suggested chrysanthemum.
It could be anything with big fluffy petals.
Uh-huh. But with a different colored center. Someone says, oh, yes. Ranuncula. Oh, man, if I could grow ranuncula. I've tried many times.
We've gotten like one.
Yeah. I can't, yeah. My husband, he's got the most beautiful garden, and every year he plants 60 ranunculus, and we get one flower. You'd love him. He's a lot of fun at parties. That's great. A little ranunculus there. Someone else says zinnia. This is great. Everybody is just out here.
Yeah, it could be whatever you want it to be.
Whatever you want it to be.
The other one, to me, reads very daisy-like, but this one, I called it a posy on the
other one is,
instruction sheet, because like it's not anything specific. So
on the construction sheet.
Instruction sheet,
thank you. Keep in mind that when you get the fresh flowers, you do get a stitching guide that comes along with it. So everything that we've showed in this video is reinforced on paper once you receive the die in the mail. There you go. And it highlights all the different shapes. And how many strands of floss were you using there that last time? That was 3. And what are you about to do?
3.
No, I'm sorry. What are you, I can smell the hot glue gun. That's nice.
Flower center. I'm going to do the last flower center. That's how quickly the flowers go on there, because there's not a ton of stitching around them.
Not a ton of stitching. The flowers
are
just
the
like
centers. I know, you watched like 14 hours of stems.
And here we go. This is great. It all comes together so quickly at the end.
It does.
And the smell of the hot glue just made the whole room a little bit cozier. It's like a candle. No, it is. It got like this whole corner just got like a little bit warmer because of that.
Oh, dear. All right. The daisies, same deal. You just sort of...
Someone is saying Cosmos, and someone else is saying you draw these designs and have them made. That's exactly a step in the process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then you're going to line up the flower.
There we go.
On the stem here.
So just like before, this is only 2 layers, though, on top of the fabric.
In the center.
And the circle. So that would be a total of 4 layers. For everybody playing along at home with the Poshta Stitching with Lizzie home board game. There it goes. And this is, again, just a running stitch in the circle.
Just a running stitch around the circle. Yep.
And then it's beading time?
Yep.
Okay, I think we're going to make it.
What time is it?
It is 2:23 Eastern Standard Time.
Ooh.
So some beading. You weren't really planning on stitching the 2 halves together on the live today.
I kind of was.
You kind of were. Well, what I could do is by the time we get to there, I could always just put the camera angle just on your face.
You could, and
then you could stitch without worrying about where your hands were and just like zip, 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 zip. Because that's a running stitch around the outside, let's be real.
Yes, it is a running stitch.
And people like hanging out with you, but they don't have to see that part.
Definitely not doing this part very well.
That's okay.
Because it's not in my most comfortable stitching zone.
That's excellent.
But...
Most comfortable stitching proximity.
Yes.
Yeah, normally we're stitching like right here.
Right up at my face.
Right here at your face. Now, you're not looking, but I'm just... This This is usually where the stitching is happening. It's kind of more in this.
It's very close to my
You want to keep your shoulders really tight to your ears, and then you want to keep your elbows really tight to your ribs, and then you want your hands as close to your nose as possible.
Well,
that's usually how the stitching goes. Nose to the grindstone. Nose to the needle and thread.
Maybe I'll finish it off because I do want to show a little bit of beading, and then I want to show how to do the bow.
Beading and bow is what we're going to try to accomplish in the next 10 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. The good news is there's just one, I think, giant button that you can stop the recording if I have to leave. And
that is good news because I would not know.
I think there's just a large red button that says live, and I think if you touch it, it would stop. And I did set in YouTube, I set the studio so that it would auto stop the live over on the YouTube side of things.
Okay,
so,
well.
It says, someone wanted to know if we'll be carrying the Nutcracker set for a little while, and that's our opportunity to talk about how long our sets are carried.
We carry the kits.
Excuse me.
1 year from their debut.
1 year from their debut. So the Nutcracker debuted in October of 2024.
So it will be through the end of September.
Through the end of September 2024. You can
25.
25. Thank you. What year is this? So if you're like me, you could grab your pocket distraction rectangle or your cellular phone, and you could put into your calendar when that was going to happen.
Right. Right.
Right. Okay, so the other flower is now attached.
The flower is now attached.
Someone says, please show the beading. My beads come undone. My nuts are yucky. Hey, you don't have to put everything in the chat. It's okay. You don't have to put everything down there. Don't worry. We're going to show some beading here. We would not dream of cutting this live without showing a little beading.
No, I will show some beading.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to use anywhere from 2 to 3 strands when I add a bead. So.
Here comes the bead box that you would receive with a Vintage Charm Color Story.
Yes. Now, these are not my beading needles, so I just want to make sure that this is going to fit. It will. Okay. I could grab a beading needle, but some beads will fit over the heads of the number 5 embroidery needles. Some of them won't.
Great.
Okay. Oop, that's not what I wanted. That is. Okay. So to add a bead and a sequin, I just come up wherever I want my bead to go, my sequin to go.
We're in the middle of the chrysanthemum peony flower.
It's a posy. Just call it a posy.
Sorry, we're coming up through the posy, everybody. And you have a sequin and a bead together.
So I got a sequin, yes.
Sequin went on first.
And the bead.
Bead goes on second. So it's a layer there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then to really finish it, sorry, this is not as smooth as it goes normally. I just come back through the center of the sequin, shift over just a tiny bit, so it's going to have a little bit of a gap between the threads, so you can knot it around that gap, and you pull back down through.
So when you did the bead, you didn't come up through holes that are pre-cut? That are
I
stamped?
didn't. You can.
You can.
And when I do that, I anchor it to some of the stitching that's there. And you're just going to tie really tight. Because if it's not tied tight enough, the bead will like flop around and stuff.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
No one wants a floppy bead.
And then I double knot. You could triple knot if you wanted to.
I would probably quadruple knot because, you know, by the time I got that bead and sequin on there, I wouldn't want it to go anywhere.
Okay. And then I'm out of the yellow here. So let me cut another piece real quick.
The next release is planned for late February, correct?
Yes.
Early March, late February? Late February, early March? Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone asked, and I wanted to make sure. I did type it into the chat, but I thought I would also say it out loud. Okay. So that was one sequin and one bead. So that time you did not come up through one of the holes.
The holes, no.
No, you came up just shoved it.
Yeah, I just shove it through the middle anywhere. I find it easiest to bead things where there are not holes.
Okay, so you heard it here.
However, these stamens here do look really cute.
Oh yeah, they look nice right on the hole there. Okay, so you're coming up through a hole.
I'm gonna anchor. First, I anchor it underneath a thread on the back.
Okay, so we're under the thread.
Then I come up through the hole.
Then I'm coming up through the hole. Great.
Then I put on a bead.
Then a bead. Okay, and then it's going to go.
Then you come back down through the hole.
You came back down through the same hole?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I anchor it underneath the other direction.
So it's like an X underneath?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tie that one off.
Oh, so you're not just going to go stitching through to do the next bead. You're going to tie that one off individually.
I'm going to tie it off, but I'm not going to cut it.
Oh, you're going to tie it off and then go to the next one.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm having trouble getting my ends to cooperate here.
That's okay. Were you planning on doing another bead after these 3 or not?
No.
Okay.
Then I'll do the bow.
Oh yeah, the bow.
Because I want to be able to show the bow real quick.
Totes.
So then, again, anchor underneath.
Okie dokie.
Through the hole.
We've anchored underneath. Oh, so you re-anchored that at the new spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we tied off, but we didn't snip it off.
Correct.
We went to the new spot. We anchored under some thread.
Yes.
Up through the hole, add the bead, back through the hole.
Yes.
And now we're going to anchor again.
Underneath.
In the opposite direction.
Yes.
Great.
And I lost my thread there.
Oh no, we lost our thread.
It's okay.
I can see it. It's still there.
I know. I just lost it in the needle.
Louie has entered the chat. Lulu. Come here, buddy.
Louis does also jump up on the table, so... Now
how about over here?
Now would not be a great time for him to do that.
He's super interested in plastic bags, so I don't know that he's going to go up there. Buddy. Come here, bud.
Then I anchored under that last hole, through the hole. And then, there we go. Back down. Oh boy.
Louis tried, and he didn't make it.
He didn't make it, and also there's a hot glue gun there, so maybe make sure he doesn't make it.
Sorry, Lulu. Next time, buddy. Louis was ready for his YouTube debut, and he flubbed it.
All right.
Story of his life.
I've got all 3 of those done, and I left that tail in the beginning, so I'm just going to knot it with its own tail again.
Ah, so when you anchored underneath the thread for the first time, you left kind of a long tail.
Yes.
And now you're tying that with just like a square knot at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to do a triple knot because...
Heck yeah.
Safety first.
Safety first.
But, you know. So that's that. Okay? So we've got a couple of different...
Wow. So we have 3 flowers, 5 stems...
Yes.
4 beads, 1 sequin.
Now let's show the bow.
Let's show the bow.
So the bow, you bring both ends in towards the center.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Got it.
And then layer on this bad boy.
That bad boy?
The tail, as it were.
I'm tracking bad boys next time.
Great. Great.
Great.
Definitely need that. And here I'm going to use 3 strands of thread.
How did it not come unsprung just now? Is it just the texture of the felt?
Yeah.
I fully expected you to put that on the table and have it just like flatten out all over again and fall apart.
No. I mean, it didn't hold well, but...
Okay, so here we go again.
Our ends.
Okay, the ends come in and then the little bow gaunts on top. And then there's another... Is there another piece?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the bow on the magnet sheet.
Oh, I might not have put that back in my... bag.
I just want to make sure. No, I want to make sure I wasn't going crazy. That's
no,
all.
You're not crazy. I must not have put it back in the bag when I was working with it the other day.
I'm not going to hold up the magnetic sheet anymore.
So you're going to come through the back.
Okay.
Back down through the other set of holes.
So you're taking the bow components and you're stitching the bow together.
Yes.
Yes.
So then I'm going to knot that.
We're going to knot it.
And then I do another step here that isn't strictly necessary, but I do it anyway. I then take the thread and I wrap around a couple of times.
Okay.
Just to make it cinch a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tie it off with the same original end.
And how many strands were you using there?
There's 3, but it doesn't really make any difference because this part's going to get all covered up anyway.
Great. And then this is when we're going to glue it down?
Yes. Hold on. We'll glue it to the back since the back is finished. So I'm just going to snip off the tails on this first. And here's the little extra bit here. You're going to wrap it around the center.
Okay. So we've stitched it together.
We stitched it together. And we're going to wrap this around the center.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm just going to take, I don't know if I can do this. Oh, good. I have enough space. I'm just going to use like a little tiny dab of glue at the end there to really secure everything down on the back. Whoop. I must have rubbed it off with my thumbnail. Here we go. There we go.
Okay, here it comes.
Okay.
I would be like, ow, 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 ow.
There's the bow.
Uh-huh.
And since this is the one I've got finished, usually I would do this after I got the edges done. You would glue that down. So maybe I won't glue it down because I don't want to have to deal with that when I'm sewing around the edges. But yeah, just glue that.
So the next step would be to sew the 2 pieces together.
Yes.
And then you're going to hot glue your bows right on top of when you're done. So you have to stitch around them now.
Correct.
And that's that, everybody. That's how to do a fresh flowers.
I'm sorry. If I could have gotten the stuffing done in time, I would have.
I'm going to blow this thing back up to just you. Look at that. Oh, let me get myself out of that picture-in-picture. This is the moment in time where I'm going to have to skedaddle.
Well, we both need to because I've got to talk to one of the other moms about a fundraiser.
The camera's right there. You have to look at the camera. You can't look down at the table anymore. There it goes. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. This has been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun.
We'll see you again.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks very much. And if you have any questions, you can always email customer service or follow us on Instagram.